click in GLHF, and the first map is going to be Savannah as the home map for, it should be for TMB. We are playing with Deef, Skinner, that's Mystic Clicks. Deities of Death actually know who it is, and so it's going to be permitted this time around, but next time Skinner should be coming with his own nick that is registered and his main, Mystic Clicks. And last final player is Solo Turk for TM. So yep, this should be really in favor overall of Deities of Death Beef. We are looking at lure that, who is actually the Odin in here? Or Poseidon, sorry, Odin. Odin does have another hunt spot. That is the Great Hunt. And the civilizations for dots are double OK, with the third one being Oranos. And against them TM Deef is as Zeus, Solo Turk as Poseidon, and then Zeus. So basically triple Greeks, interesting, versus very aggressive lineup of double OK and Oranos. As far as some kind of rating and such goes, it should be an advantage or rather in favor of Deities of Death B. They should be the skilled players in here, as DMs are basically something like 1650 to 1700, whereas Deities of Death, they are about 1800 plus, or 1800 plus, let's not get ahead of ourselves, 1700 plus, up to 1800, I think. They actually, some of them are pretty decent, especially Haigo Heimdall is pretty good. And Papercut and Narvi aren't bad either. Narvi is pretty decent if you have watched some of his streams. So definitely pretty good material right now for the team. And we are already looking at lure working quite alright. Even though, is it working alright? Because so far, it's basically just Solo Turk stealing animals from his teammate, from Skinner. They are coming from the bottom. Apparently some kind of double herd. And it came from the bottom. So where? Was it such a big herd actually? I'm not exactly sure. Maybe they are coming through on the front also, but it definitely was coming through on the bottom. But yeah, it doesn't seem that it's going to be all that effective. He's gonna get some animals next to it. Oh, let's check other players quickly. How many? 4. This is a weird Savannah spawn. No. Just gonna check if it's really the correct map. Yeah, it is. But this is probably one of the few spawns that are supremely high hunt. 4 rhinos right next to you. Well, good luck. But what we have seen here is, of course, that this lure actually stole one of his own rhinos. And since it's such a huge amount of hit points, and especially food on it, well, it definitely means this lure is not going to be that effective in getting some animals nearby. So this is not what he wanted. And also, why you need to be careful how you place your lure, as it might not be the best idea to place it just here. So far, he's just getting animals. Well, that's going to be the waypoint in here. Animals from basically back, so he's stealing his own animals. That's not something that he wanted. There are some zebras apparently, I don't know where. Maybe from here, next to the relic. There is trio of monkeys, which actually might be useful because we are probably gonna see a very hard early fighting. But yeah, those 4 animals. 2 basically poached from quite close by from the teammate. Yeah, 1 giraffe, 1 rhino from right himself, and then just the lion and zebra. So that was kinda not how you imagine that the lure should be working for you. At any rate, shouldn't be really that much of a difference, as it's not a game-changing god power overall, as we are switching, for example, into the yellow player in here, who is already under the spy, the same as purple, which is of course what you want to do, as they are the hunters, and the enemy Lokis will definitely know what to do with them once they advance into the next age. So Deef, as we are looking at his scout, discovering a very important spot in the middle of the map, both the hunt and the gold, so to be fought over the early game. That will be quite interesting for either side to take for. But otherwise, really, those extra runners in the home base, that should be pretty much alright to last most of the players for most of the game. And then he's already moving into the double giraffes on the left. This is a really weird spawn. Sorry, such a high amount of hunt. A high amount of hunt overall, and pretty decent scouting already by Heimdall as the Oranos, and definitely telling you that he's very interested in some aggressive play against his poor Zeus opponent Deef. We are at 340, so players should be already advancing or getting ready for it. Just dropping Temple Skinner, aka Mystic Clicks at the bottom. Yeah, he needs to be careful about the hit points on the villagers. He already has 3 of them lower, and 2 extras also kinda hit, so they will be all that easier to actually raid. Combination with the spy, that might be a bit of a problem for him, as if he is surprised, then might be losing his food economy altogether quite fast. In the meantime, of course, as we are looking at Green advancing through Hermes and having one of the prayers in here, that will definitely result into Centaur raiding. And are we seeing something similar somewhere else? Not much, just Hermes, of course, times 2. And I would be expecting Hermes times 3 for the yellow player as well. So far, he isn't praying. Might change once he eventually finishes with the house. But Prometheus is already in, and he's really advancing quite late. Skinner in here. Definitely curious what his game plan is gonna be, because it's not probably gonna work against such an aggressive lineup that he's facing, double Loki with Oranos, and we should be expecting them. Yep, Corsetti already on his way. It's kinda late-ish advance as well, 5 minutes. It's not really that fast. It could be faster, but even later for Paper Cut. Oh man, this is smelling special. This is smelling like some special strat, because only Heimdall basically advanced at some standard time. All the others seem to be kinda halfway booming, because he's already working on the walls, which is basically telling you that he's not all that interested in aggression, in full nading. It's almost looking like that he will just plug the holes and go for the back TC, and maybe even some. I don't know, I want to go fast mythic, but I'm not exactly sure if that would be a viable strategy on a map like this. But still, Solo Turk, back TC for himself, and are we seeing something interesting? Not yet, as Paper Cut is just gathering from the hunt in the middle. That is quite bountiful rather, and doesn't seem to be all that interested in coming for the back TCs yet. So far, Solo Turk, of course, going for the Kataskopos into the back, which definitely should be hidden somewhere like behind the forest or some such. There seems to be a pretty good hiding spot for underworld passages. There should be 2 of them. Yes, 2 of them. Poseidon doesn't have underworld passage. He has Curse from Aphrodite and of course Dionysus for the bronze. So that will not be something that he will be able to use, as we are also looking, for example, at Heimdall, who is just moving all around Thieves' base and hoping that he can find something that will be available for him to kill. In the meantime, Promethean from Heimdall feeling kinda strong. Pursuing the hero. Yeah, that's not something that he should be doing. But those 2 friends of his that are made from meat are going to be helping, of course, with the horses also. So Jason is probably gonna be toast. Odysseus might not be that far behind with that fate also. Oh, careful. But he probably just wanted to stop the Jason, which definitely succeeded. So interesting play, as at the bottom we are right now seeing that Mystic clicks. Well, he got a bit lucky, because he just finished the TC, literally just finished, as he was being raided by Narve, so just as opposed to what I was thinking, that they might be coming for some second town centers and such, they tease of that because of the late advances on such a very high hunt map. It's really unusual. They are just showing that the strategy is going to be something different, and it might be just basically having a bit more of a support of the economy into some reasonable heroic age, like about 10 minutes. That would be decent heroic with a good echo that they might be having right now, and that will be really helping them overcome some potential power spike that the Zeus and the Poseidon might be having against them. So Skinner going for the bolt that was at the bottom cast against one of the Hersiers, because he needs to protect these guys, because of course this is his crucial hunt. Next one just, oh well, this is actually not bad, those 2 rhinos, but they are not really safe at all. So he needs to protect this at all costs, because it's also next to the town center, which makes it the best spot for him to continue building, or rather continue building his economy. In the meantime, of course, this is the reason why I actually said the building instead of something else that I wanted to say. And that's because Narve is right now making claim on the town center, exactly as we have seen from Chaos last week from Deities of Death A. They were doing basically similar stuff, and it's almost looking like that we are gonna see something very similar indeed in here from the blue player. He's right now trying to make sure that he is basically dividing attention of Skinner so that he doesn't notice what's happening behind his base, because already Solo Turk he's not going anywhere nearby this town center. He has already walled himself off imperfectly. There is a hole, pretty big one, and he is working on making another one in here in the middle. So not good for him at all, as he is just now being entered by Paper Cut, and probably not that much of a threat, because of course he's ready for the spam as the Poseidon of the Hippicons, which will be a pretty good unit against Knut Pottail, for example, and otherwise it's going to be up to Div if he can defend against Heimdall, because if he cannot, then Heimdall can potentially spill into the pocket, and then that might be a slight problem for him. So Skinner called in ceasefire because yet again he was raided on the hunt. And he's really desperate not really to lose it. Really desperate enough, and there was of course pretty decent raiding also at the top, and that's all because of the spies. Both these spots are spied, and that's exactly where the enemy army is colluding and trying to go to. So of course pretty good use of the ceasefire, and it's going to be a huge surprise of course to the Mystic, because I'm fairly certain they have absolutely no idea. I haven't seen any unit of theirs going there, so they don't know that the TC is stolen, or if there's, or rather that there's any kind of building altogether. So pretty huge surprise coming for them, and it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be the good kind of surprise. Bit of an attempt at least scouting by Soloturk and maybe even raiding on the hunters, but with the army already being prepared by the paper cut and working on the big China wall all across the map to secure their bases, and of course also the trade route a bit later. We are gonna switch to the bottom where there is just a bit of protection extra for the TC, but yet again TMs don't know what's coming for them, and it's going to be under ceasefire. Oh, it will be definitely worthwhile. 15 citizens on hunt. That's a big outage of economy, especially since he doesn't have anything extra. And oh well, that's a surprise. Now are we actually trying to wall his opponent in? And that's a good idea. Because this will actually deny any kind of the hiding of villages in the town center. This is actually funny spawn. Those two being so close to each other, whereas we are right now probably going to be seeing full switch of both Paper Cut and Narvi into the pocket player Soloturk, and he will have to hope that all his strong hippicons are going to be enough, but probably not, because at the same time he's also being under attack by Igo Heimdall on the left through the unfinished walling, and that's right into the nuts. Right into the nuts, because that's not only hunters, but of course also these purple villages on the gold. Yeah, it seems like there was a bit of a lag, some kind of stutter, but PC updates are probably not gonna lose you the game. That's not going to be up to them, as right now DF is entering the base, and oh, I'm kinda thinking that's already way too late. It might have just as well let all those guys die. Wouldn't have made a huge kind of difference. Not sure who actually unpaused. Not sure at all. But apparently it was Dots in here. Probably thinking that it was basically the same case as last week. Where, who was it? Where Suits actually paused in raiding on the villages as well. But to be honest, what would be the point in here? What would be the point? Because there is not any kind of goods got power for them to be used. They don't have 15 cents on any kind of transport. The villagers literally couldn't have run anywhere at all. So Green was already arriving in there, so I don't really see the point why they would even cast it. Rather, why they would pause on purpose. So I kinda inclined to believe that right now it was a genuine pause because of some outside problem. At any rate, let's continue with the game. It's not really going to be having any kind of huge bearing on it, as at the bottom we are just now finishing with Bragi and getting ready, even with economy in here, and hoping that they can somehow move forward onto opponents right now being discovered by medium hippicons from Soloturk, as in the middle, pretty decent army of Paper Cut coming into green space, as he's going to be sandwiched with the help of Igo Heimdall, who will first have to get through the wall, which is not going to be that much of a problem for him. Well, in the meantime, Paper Cut switching off. Downsetters coming up all across the map, 322 for the M's, and basically the same for Deities of Death. But they are already coming for extras? No, they aren't. Those two are still very much free. But Thief. Oh well. Interesting. Try to find something to kill, which he might succeed with. Because Igo Heimdall might be right now consumed with microwing away from the army. Well, let's check this. That's one villager dead. Second dead. Heimdall is just looking at this. And not at the villagers, that's third dead. Oh, well, this is so painful. And since these are actually gold villagers, come on, finish. What, why? Why would you run away? He wasn't running away from you because he noticed, he was just because he was hit. And you can kill even more villagers. Come on, even if you are losing the battle in here, That's much more worth it. Kill this guy. He could have killed easily at least 1 or 2 extras of this. Right now he's coming back, it's way too late. Because I'm the last notice, he has already sent the villager back. Oh, that was a misplay in here. A bit of a shame, because Deef definitely could have defended in here with a bit of help from his allies. Which would be hard to come, apparently. They are under attack themselves, but he has been able to defend quite alright. So yeah, let's go back to the top. How's it looking with those guys? Are they gonna be having a shot? For some reason, no. No, well, not sure what's going on. Definitely could have been killed, but at least those guys are gonna be following into the grave as well. But of course, the surprise is gone because Heimdall is right now looking also at the back after the loss of the 3 citizens, and there's not going to be anything extra that they could be doing against it. In the meantime, of course, this back base is growing, and the army next to it also, with tier coming for paper cut already. So we are basically aiming into some kind of finishing touch. I'll be thinking once the tier hits, we should be looking some pretty brutal attack, and there is a bit of a surprise at the top. Huh. Actually, a huge amount of Hippicons, basically the whole army from Solo Turk is right now fighting themselves right next to the front TC. No, not front, back TC of Heimdall. And curiously enough, they are also at the bottom trying to stop the town center with probably another tier coming up from red, but, well, able to defend. So far he doesn't have to, curiously enough, but he will. He will have to pretty soon. So he's basically free to raid what he wants to do, whatever he wants to do. And there's Brood Wolf coming up, but not much about that. So it seems like that it's not really going to be the game plan for him. With recent trading on the gold at the bottom, as Heimdall has switched from the left to the right, and they are basically deities of death are switching battlefields from top to the left, through bottom to the right, literally across the map. All the players are switching, and that definitely has to be confusing for teams because they are not really knowing what's going to be coming next, what's going to be destroying their economies and villages in the next battle. For example, right now, as Norway is switching into the base of Deef, who is basically just now not knowing what to do first, having a few idols in there, but much more importantly, doesn't know what to defend first and where to help potentially. As we are basically just now waiting for the correct moment for the double of Fimbulwinter. I'm fairly certain that's going to be the game plan. Hephaestus for Deef, but yeah, they definitely need to hurry up because they are losing the economy through the pretty decent trading of Soloturk and Deef, and that is allowed only because the Deities of Death are not that effective actually in their raiding, because you can see they are right now just having 2 armies against half army of Deef, and that's all they're doing. They're not doing anything else. Heimdall is running around getting villages here and there, but here we go with the first flaming weapons from Paper Cut, and he is coming in with the Fimbulwinter. Curiously enough, he didn't let Narvik cast the flaming weapons as well. So, I would fully expect that they are going to be used with next Fimbulwinter for him once he advances in there, but this should be a pretty strong attack from them because of course this double should be more or less a triple with the wolfies all across the map. They are super strong and they are definitely paying off as the battle is brewing. And those Hippicons, unfortunately, even though they are killing villages in and there, not that much successful in all their efforts. Not that much successful, especially since the Heimdall is right now coming home and will be the rescuing force to get rid of both the Centaurs and potentially even Hippicons. Yeah, nice block pathing, or rather path blocking, way around the words. Yeah, those poor guys. Those raiding days are over for them, so TC down as we were expecting in there, but otherwise not really all that much done. It seems that this TC, well, I was going to call that it might be standing, but with this dude and the piggy, not too sure, because there are no heroes right now standing for Deef. Definitely means pretty big problems. Mountain Giant coming in, and I'm fairly surprised that he's not sending the Battle Boar as well, because of course he will be having a pretty good attack against this almost dead building. And Bellerophon at the last moment, but is he going to be fast enough? It's a nice bolt, of course, on the Mountain Giant, but Bellerophon needs to get rid of the piggy more than anything else, so good defense at the very last moment. Very last moment indeed, but what could be a problem coming now for Yellow is that he's running out of gold and he will have to move somewhere forward, which is this. and that doesn't seem to be all that protected, just normal wall. She invaded just now, but that won't really stand against anything all that much, so yeah. Right now looking at his desperate fight for survival against Heimdall, who is finding himself at the basically other side of the map, but he's not fighting just here. He's also having a bit of a fight on the left, and apparently having some buildings prepared in there. Medium duck swords, not any kind of extra upgrades, heavy hoplites. If I see this correctly, yes. Whereas for Heimdall, medium murmills with copper shields, and this is exactly what I was talking about a bit earlier. With Heimdall having already palace and military academy ready, military barracks ready, and with extra citizens coming in, probably for another palace, he is definitely aiming for the base of the green player. Green is still being harassed by blue from the back. Narvi definitely not intent on letting this TC fall from his power, whereas there was a bit of a fun coming up from Soloturk with the Petrobolite to defend against this nasty TC at the back, and Paper Cat will be dropped to just 2. Of course, not ideal. Much more importantly, this will allow TMs to get back into the game a whole lot more. Even though Red still does have some presence, it's probably not going to be enough. In the meantime, pretty brutal raiding. Oh no, not running away. Why would you run away? Soloturk again. I mean, Igo Heimdall ran away for no reason whatsoever when he was having a chance to kill 1,000 villagers. Right now Soloturk did the same, basically allowed those 2 Hersirs to get into place. And even if you're gonna lose them to really fighting, it's still well worth it, because not only are the villagers not gathering, they are also dying. And that's much more important in there. So yep, weird decision making here and there, but still seems to be working quite fine, and very nice to see. We're just waiting for some underworld passage in here as another bout of flaming weapons together with the Thimble Winter is coming up to ravage the bases of the Mystic. Soloturk the only one missing the Mythic Rage so far, as all others are already in, and I'm really looking at Skinner, aka Mystic Rix, somehow picking up his game, because he has been able to pretty much defend. And seems to be already moving kinda forward, because he has probably deleted the army of Heimdall, but of course it basically resulted into full assault right now from Heimdall into Deep. So Soloturk needs help, but the help should be coming not from green but from yellow. So let's see if that's gonna come, as Wolfies are dying just now from the good power, and ceasefire is coming up as well, because of course that is a thing to do. So is there some kind of army to steal the TC yet again? It's a pretty nice Tartarian gate, of course, which yellow needs to deal with. Red, C. Select those Hersirs and send them into the TC. That would be something that you could do. You probably do have resources. Yeah, close by. You would have them, but so far he's not interested. And it seems like that the Hippicons have been dealt with, and the base at the back seems to be more or less secure right now for the Teeth of Death. In the meantime, of course, Heimdall is at 4 town centers, Papercut at 2, because Heimdall has stolen one of his. Probably thinking that he's gonna keep the town center at the back, which is right now gonna come under Soloturk's power, which is exactly what needs to happen. And those guys also need to go somewhere else. They would be needed, for example, against those buildings, but it's almost looking like that Heimdall is quite intent on going into the back of the opponent's bases, looking also into the trade and trying to kill this town center, which is definitely gonna come down. And not only that, oh, those Murmills are looking for the villages. Goodbye economy and goodbye TC, of course. This is not gonna end well for the game player. Not gonna end well at all. Oh, he's losing absolutely everything in there. And right now he's free to join into the town center, and we're just gonna quickly check into heavy Murmills, having bronze, copper, not bad, but looking at Deep, Devin, oh, no upgrades, no line upgrades, and not any kind of other upgrades as well. So even though it might have seemed like a pretty nasty army, it's actually not that much, but the help from those Hippicons, that could be enough. Mediums, bronze, copper, that's not bad. So they apparently are going to be able to save the town center in the end, but still it was at a pretty large cost of the villagers. That definitely did hurt the green player in that gameplay. In the meantime, there is a pretty strong push right now by Papercut with Darby on the right against Skinner, basically the strongest player so far in the game, or having best game plan so far. Champion Myrmidons, Bronze, Copper, pretty decent upgrades. But unfortunately, due to facing the double, it's probably not going to be that effective. But let's not call it a game. Paper Cut having just copper weapons. Narvi having, well, not much better. He's having the rest to complement right that, which definitely is not enough. And this might be working quite alright for Skinner if he just pumps those Myrmidons. And you can see the number of them still surviving, and the army of Narvi and Paper Cut basically being cut to pieces. Like literally. So they severely underestimated the situation. Titan Gate is on the top of that. Coming up for Skinner, and TM are also winning on the score. So even though the situation is all kinds of beefy, near deep, and interesting, it actually might come down to the fact that Skinner, aka Mistake Race, might be somehow able to actually even turn the game around. Well, let's see, because this will be a run for time. Because Igor Heimdall is probably hoping that he can delete Thief much faster, then Skinner can be a significant gameplay thing. Yeah, not exactly sure what I wanted to say. And Igor Heimdall is going for the Titans himself as an Atlantean, so there's probably going to be fast enough counter for the potential Titan of Skinner building up right now at the bottom. Ooh, you know what's coming. Oh, and this is coming times 2, alright. The wolf is just waiting for the correct moment to pounce, and those guys are going to be in their bellies pretty soon, looking for the hunter to rescue them from the big bad wolf bellies. Well, probably not going to work all that much. Bellerophon just now missing them. Not anymore. He has just noticed, so he should be already jumping into their backs. As they are getting through, of course, and that will result into potentially even killing the Titan Gate. Are there some useful god powers? No, they aren't. There aren't, rather. Will Deep having the underworld passage. So you will be expecting there will be a plan to get rid of opponent's Titan Gate, but those wolfies, oh well, they definitely could work. Good idea to get rid of those gold villages in the meantime. And yeah, this is going to be slaughtered, even though Bellerophon is going to be working quite fine against those Genins in here. Well, the death toll of the villages is just going to be coming up all the time. Heracles at the right time, and Odysseus and Jason coming up as well. Probably should have switched the order around, which means that the Titan Gate is going to be rescued, and it is 64% up, so almost looking like that it could be finishing on its own. In the meantime, though, Deep has been reduced to 0 TCs. Heimdall just now basically killing him altogether, especially with the help from Narvi. Little help in here, already established with the buildings, stopping the trade route, which has not been really working for some time already. And unfortunately, Deep is looking at the jaws of defeat in here. It's probably not going to be even secured with anything else, and it's almost looking like Soloturk right now calling no, that he's probably asked if it's a GG. Apparently they want to fight on because of the Titan. I'm fairly certain of it, because it will be probably without proper response. Epicons right now from Soloturk, still mediums. Bronze, copper, I think that's the same we have seen a bit before. Sniping Gate is cast by Heimdall, and let's go with the underworld passage, I guess. But for that, they will first need to send something into the back. And with all those palaces and towers and towns that are being prepared, it's almost looking like that they actually are expecting some shenanigans. Oh, Artemis! That's a different one. Yeah, well, you're not gonna be able to defend Wonder in a situation like this. You're not well equipped for that. Not well equipped for that, especially considering the Titan is going to be coming up pretty soon, and Wolfies are still running around rampant. And Heimdall is basically right now going to be eaten into Soloturk as well, already getting rid of his fortress and going to be getting rid of the stables as well reasonably soon, even through the bronze that is cast just a few seconds ago. Downsetter being stolen by Narvi, just basically making sure that it's his. He's going to be taking another one at the back, and then Heimdall taking the one in the front, basically making sure that Deep is not really going to be continuing this game in a kind of significant manner. It's going to be all up to Heimdall to push through the middle into Soloturk and kill him, whereas I'm expecting that. Ooh. Why would you do this? Once you have a Titan Gate up. Of course, it would have been probably unsuccessful in deleting the Titan Gate because it would be a lot of damage absorbed by those buildings all around, so it's not really assured. But in combination with Underworld Passage, it definitely could have come down, and I don't really understand this at all. He's right now moving in there, Skinner. So why would you use... Well, let's not dwell on that all that much, as we are looking, of course, at an RVP. Unfortunately for him, denied the town center so far. Denied the town center so far, and the Titan is not even moving anywhere, so it's going to be just a full-on defensive Titan to defend the Wonder, which is usually not a good idea if you are losing altogether, which they definitely are. And Skinner just now using the bronze, which is being used at the top, and yeah, that's not gonna work. There's just too many fire buildings, and you don't have the earthquake anymore. That would have definitely helped in this attack. So the combination of both the Myrmidons and the earthquake, fairly certain, would have made the Titan Gate very difficult to stand up. But right now they have lost those two options basically, and losing everything in there. So there's going to be an attempt to probably somehow build the towers around the Wonder. Well, that's expensive. Quite slow indeed, and quite probably will not result in a huge success in here. What I haven't seen all that much of is actually Red player. We are right now basically seeing the fight of Narvi with Heimdall against their opponents. So Turk really trying his best to stay alive as long as possible. Whereas Red is, I'm not sure doing what. He has a boom going. Having a few Ulfsarks. Deleted some Ox cards so that he can get some more population limit. And the reason why he's actually out of the game could be because he's having some idols in here, but just 2 town centers, and that might have been a mistake actually by DoDs that Narvi is hoarding the TCs, because of course extra town center for Paper Cut would be a bit more valuable than for Narvi. Right now I kinda think that Paper Cut has a ton of resources, not able to spend them. Yeah, you can see this. He's having 5,000 gold, and he cannot do anything about it, like at all. Literally at all. Oh my. What's going on in here? Narvi 3000, it's not like he needs it, but he's not also popped. You know the reason why the town center should be coming to Paper Cut. It's not even able to maintain the 4 TCs. Has 3. Yeah, I've seen that. For Heimdall is at least popped fully, but he's having the Titan, so that's also the reason why he's popped. So extra town center for him makes sense, but yeah, really kinda curious what's gonna happen from Paper Cut. Right now rebuilding himself at the bottom. And at this stage, I'm thinking it would be the best idea for Heimdall to delete one of his TCs, give it to Paper Cut. Doesn't matter which one, or probably one at the back. It's going to be the safest option for him, because Paper Cut needs extra population limit. More than Heimdall at this point. But because Heimdall, as an Atlantean, is kinda hard countered by a Greek in the late game. It's very hard, rather hard. It's not that easy for him to push through, and so far it seems like the deities of that are basically banging their heads against the wall, trying to push through Solo Turk, whereas the way to victory is going to be probably through the right. Yeah, through Paper Cut, and for that he will need all the extra support that he can get. So Wonder up, 8 minutes left. No extra ceasefires, so there is not going to be any kind of delay in that. Potentially, that would be like 1 minute less, which you sometimes see. And the Deities of that definitely need to rethink their plan, because you can see they are moving nowhere. They are moving so slowly, they are moving like an inch a minute. And they are still having to go through all this into here, into the bottom. And if they plan really to do that, good luck indeed. In the meantime, there is a bit of a fight between Titans, as Skinner has been able to win. Unfortunately, Heimdall apparently didn't do a good enough job of micro his Titan, but second is coming up from the blue player, which, well, could be in the winning condition, unless this guy survives long enough to get there. 97%, he definitely could. He most definitely could. He's still having 800. That's more than enough to make the way. It's not that far away, it's actually just a few screens. Like 2 screens away. And if that comes down, that's another level of problem of taking down the Wonder. Funny, funny indeed. Where is actually the other entrance of the underworld passage? Oh, here. Ah, that's funny. Even getting gold in here, having some extra buildings like the temples and such, and going to defend right next to the teammates. And this Titan gate actually might be a bit of a problem because you cannot build on it, and that will be potentially a way through Wonder. So yep, not something to be underestimated like at all. Titan gate 48%, Titan at 700. So they are nicking at his heels all the time. It's going to be very tricky and very close. Do they have some support? No, they don't. Any kind of useful god powers left. Well, so let's stick to this, how it's gonna pan out. No, no, no. Oh yeah, you can already fight. It's going to be coming not only into the Ulfsarks, but also into the building. So 7, 2, 500. Oh, he needs to attack the Ulfsarks. Right now he needs to attack the Ulfsarks. He needs to jump into them and kill them before they kill him. That's exactly what's gonna happen. He could have, I'm fairly certain he could have won this if he just attacked the Ulfsarks and killed them one by one. Oh, that's such a shame. Yeah. One more. Yes. One hit. Literally one hit, and he could have done it. If he attacked all those guys with the special attack with the jump, that would have engaged. He would have killed all those Ulfsarks, saving him a ton of damage. He most definitely would have had that one extra shot that could have deleted the Titan Gate. Well, that was a close one. Damn close one. Almost worked out for him, but unfortunately a bit of micro was missing. And it's not a happy moment, but still he's at least significantly delaying the Titan, which is also a small victory for them. Of course, that's going to be like extra minute or two, maybe, to finish with the Titan, and the time is running out. 5 minutes. 5 minutes is not such a long time to take down a Wonder of 10,000 hit points, which is a huge amount, especially with the armor, of course, on it. But they are already making a push, and there's Paper Cut, namely, who is sending all the ramps in there. Sending all the ramps in there, and there's going to be attempt to be some kind of help by this, but oh well. Right now, Soloturk should be recognizing that he's not under attack anymore, and should be sending some help to basically deal with all those ramps. The farms seem to be exactly deleted to build some extra towers, houses, whatever, granaries, whatever like that. And it's almost looking like that the push through the right is right now going to be successful, because Heimdall is at 5 TCs and pushing through the middle. He has switched from the left, exactly as we have said a bit earlier. There's not any kind of fight anymore, and he is pushing quite convincingly with other fire siphons into the town center, killing it, skinning it down to 2, and this seems to be just a bit too daunting for Team Misty, even though they are quite close, 4 minutes out of 10. Yeah, that's not that close, let's face it. They are going to be making the last attempt, but it's not really going to be enough, as this is just too close and they don't have any kind of extra army to deal with the problem at hand, especially with all those portable rats. They're having draft horses, engineers. Titan, yeah, it's going to be just a bit too slow, 60%, but all the army from purple is right now coming into the middle with the Helipoli, and they might kill a lot of the siege, because of course they are Hippigons, heavy Hippigons with pretty decent armor, bronze, iron, and they might get rid of them fast enough, but they're coming already down because of the very nice range on the wobbly balance patch of the fire siphon, so it's almost looking like that they might be fast enough, especially with the support of the portable arms from the bottom. So yeah, goodbye Wonder, and it's a victory for Deities of Death. Even though it was all kinds of tricky for them and almost looked like that the Amps actually might be able to pull it off, but again they didn't. And that's to be said, Deities of Death did play a better game in here, but they were having kind of a problem finishing their opponents off, so this one actually kind of made sense. That was just a reaction to the fact that Dots were pushing their heads, or rather banging their heads against the wall at the top, 2 players against 1, and it just wasn't working, so they had to switch into a bit different strategy, and it's finally paid out for them. If is just now resigning as the first player, was just basically looking around the last few minutes, but that's because he was under heavy attack and didn't really receive any kind of significant help fast enough. So GG, and this 36 very interesting game, 36-minute long interesting game is up, and we are going to be heading into there. That is going to be a whole map of Deities of Death B. Well played by all players, just in fun. game we had just here witnessed. So post-game for Heimdall. Coming everything into him. He seemed to be the most important player in the game. So yes, I do agree. He was having the most significant impact on everything that was going on. Wow, that's one hell of an economy, especially compared to others. He's having, well, a whole lot more. We're gonna see it a bit better in the chat. In the chat, something interesting in here. Not much. Oh, this is interesting. Skinner, 99 military count, 350 units killed. That is funny. That's actually pretty brutal. And those are those Myrmidons. Then probably also all the towers and such next to the Wonder late game. I was looking at all resources. I go Heimdall and all resources total here. 120,000, the next one 95, so 25,000 more resources for Heimdall than the next best. Can do a whole lot with that. Really can. Okay, GG.